Good afternoon, and welcome to the WDVX Blue Plate Special, live Americana and grassroots music, Monday through Saturday at noon in downtown Knoxville. Presented by Barley's, downtown on Jackson Avenue in the Old City. Barley's Taproom and Pizzeria, home of the Big Plate. On Fridays at noon, you can enjoy the Blue Plate Special with friends. Additional support comes from Visit Knoxville on the corner of Gay Street and Summit Hill Drive downtown. The Knoxville Visitor Center, the site of the live WDVX Blue Plate Special Monday through Thursday and on Saturday at noon. Additional support comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the Tennessee Arts Commission. You can watch today's performance on our Facebook Live. Right now, it's time. Please make welcome your host for the WDVX Blue Plate Special, Evie Andress.
Well, hey, y'all, and welcome to the Blue Plate Special. Yeah! It is real live music coming at you from right downtown Knoxville on the corner of Gay Street and Summit Hill. There's still plenty of time to come on down yourself and join us in person. We've got a twin bill today coming up the second half of the show. We'll have Kris Shultz. But would you guys give a big old East Tennessee welcome to Jim Bowman on the Blue Plate Special?
Yeah! Thank you. Good afternoon. Before I do my first song, I got to tell you the story about it. I've written hundreds of songs in my life, but I never dreamed a song until this song. And just a few weeks ago, I had a dream that I was co-writing with Garth Brooks. Now, I'm not a big Garth fan, so that was kind of odd, but it was so real that I could see Garth singing and I could hear the song he was singing. So when I got up, I went straight and got my iPad and put down as much as I could remember of what Garth was singing. And in the next 30 minutes, I finished this song. All the people of the village made fun of Juan Manuel. His view of life was different, crazy stories he would tell. If he saw a cloud up in the sky, it was not a cloud to young Juan's eyes, but a ship bound for adventure. At the helm was Juan Manuel. He'd sail that ship across the sky, fantasy where all dreams lie, where he'd fight another battle, slay a dragon or dark night. He'd pull you into his adventures as he weaved his magic tales. The hero of every story was a boy named Juan Manuel. The hero of every story was a boy named Juan Manuel. One day men came to the village, men evil to the bone. They came to loot the town, they meant to make the town their own. They beat the men, abused the women, they brought fear, they made life hell. They all laughed to hear the stories of the boy named Juan Manuel. They all laughed at the crazy stories of the boy named Juan Manuel. No one really knows what happened to those men. Every morning one of them would be found dead. As their numbers quickly dwindled, in fear the bad men fled. In the sky above, a cloud ship had set sail. Another dragon had been slain. A peaceful village now remained. No one even thought to think of Juan Manuel. He alone knew the truth he could never tell. For the hero of the story was a boy named Juan Manuel. He'd sail that ship across the sky to fantasy where all dreams lie, where he'd fight another battle, slay a dragon nor dark nights. He'd pull you into his adventures as he weaved his magic tales. The hero of every story was a boy named Juan Manuel. The hero of every story was a boy named Juan Manuel. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I know everybody who plays anywhere talks about how glad they are to be somewhere, but I'm really glad to be back in Knoxville. I have deep roots here in East Tennessee. Years ago, when I was a young country singer, I was the singing sheriff of Ghost Town in the Sky over in Maggie Valley. And years later, I came back to town and I got a job with an iconic band here in Knoxville called the Country Kings Band. If you remember the old Clayton Star Time show, we used to do that show every week. And we had a contract with WDVX Radio. We got to open all the shindigs that they did down at the Coliseum. And in that short period of time, I got to open shows for everybody who was on the radios back in the 90s with Reba McEntire, Kenny Rogers, the Oak Ridge Boys, everybody who was on the radio. I got to be an opening act, so that was a good experience in my life. Years later, I went in and turned on my TV one morning, and I saw the fires that were bearing down on Gatlinburg. They were showing the homes that burned, and they were showing that people had actually lost their life, and I just felt a great burden for that. I felt like I'd been kicked in the stomach by a mule or something. There was really anything I could do, so I did the songwriter thing, and I picked up my guitar. I'll do this for all you Smoky Mountain people today. I was born in the Smoky Mountains. I was raised with the old black bears along the banks of the Pigeon River. My childhood memories are all still there. My family thrived once in these mountains. The government came, took the land away. They pushed us out. We didn't go far. The old family names are still around today. Where the hemlocks reach almost to heaven, green ferns grow on the forest floor. Cold mountain streams sing with the angels. Old mountain trails lead to heaven's door. Old spirits roam all through these mountains. The native clans who once dwelled here, they walk the paths, they haunt the valleys. When you're in these mountains, they're always near. I was born in the Smoky Mountains, mountain bred, log cabin raised. You can have the world, give me these mountains. My roots are here in the kinfolk's graves. Where the hemlocks reach almost to heaven, green ferns grow on the forest floor. Cold mountain streams sing with the angels. Old mountain trails lead to heaven's door. I was born in the Smoky Mountains. I was raised with the old black bears along the banks of the Pigeon River. My childhood memories are all still there. I was born in the Smoky Mountains. Yeah.
You are listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX the Blue Plate Special. We are here with Jim Bowman. Hi, Jim. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm very good. I'm good.
Well, good. The first thing Jim said to me today was that he's always wanted to be on a radio show that I host, and I didn't know that was a dream of his, but I'm glad to make it happen today for you.
That was on my bucket list.
Well, I'm glad we can get that checked off there. So, Jim, this is your first time on the Blue Plate with us. Tell folks a little bit more. You kind of shared a little bit, but tell folks how you got started in music, how you got back to it, and that sort of stuff.
It's a very long story. We don't have time for it. I've got a book over here called How Not to Make It in the Music Business. I can't tell you how to make it, but I can tell you how not to make it. Some bad things happened to me when I was knocking on the door, about to kick it down and make it in the music business, and I quit for years. One day, I got a phone call, and I was amazed when the person said, "Hello, is this Jim who writes music?" And I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Jim, this is Roy Rogers." I said, "No way. The King of the Cowboys?" He said, "Yep, that's me." He said, "I have a song here I've been listening to that you wrote about me, that I had sent it to the museum years before." And he said, "I'm getting ready to do an autobiography on American movie classics, and I was wondering if we could use your song in the autobiography." And I said, "Well, let me think about it." "Okay." And I did that. And no kidding, when that show came on that night on American Movie Classics, our phone rang 15 minutes later. And I got a phone call from the people of Portsmouth, Ohio, which was Roy's hometown, wanted me to come to the Roy Rogers Festival that year. And it turned into being on the road for 10 years as a singing cowboy. I played Western film festivals and all kinds of Western events everywhere I went. I got to meet every old Western B-movie star I ever saw in a movie anywhere and become friends with a lot of them, especially old Roy. But anyway, that's the way I got back into it. And after I wrote this book, it kind of cleaned out some things about what had happened to me in Nashville. And I found out that you can take the country out of the boy, but you can't take the boy out of the country, so or something like that. But anyway, I started singing again, and I got to go into songwriter events, and like I play places like the Bluebird Cafe and all that stuff in Nashville and everywhere, but mostly I'm a songwriter today, and that's the reason I wanted to do this venue. That and the fact that I love Knoxville, Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains.
Well, we're happy to have you here. So we talked a little bit about the book. Again, that's How Not to Make It in the Music Business. For those of you out there just looking for a new way to fail in your life.
Amazon.com.
But let's talk a little bit about, you've got a brand new record out that is pretty cool. It's called Song of the Long Hunter. Tell folks a little bit about that record.
Okay, one of my pastimes and hobbies is reenactments. I love to reenact the old colonial America. And as I was going to those things, I got to noticing that there was nothing really out there for people to listen to musically about that era. So being a songwriter, I sat down and started writing songs, and I think there's 10 songs on this album. I wrote every one of them. There's songs out there about the Long Hunters, about the Over Mountain Men, about Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett and all that stuff. There's nothing on the market like this album. So you can go online and find it on YouTube and watch it and stuff, but I wish you'd do that because I think you'll really enjoy it as an American.
Perfect. Well, if you guys want to find out more information, you can go on his website, jimbowmanmusic.com. Facebook, if you look at Jim Bowman, he's everywhere, he says. But for now, and those of you in studio here today, he does have some merchandise over there. But for now, we're going to back on out of the way, get some more music right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX Blue Plate Special.
Every song I sing has a story. I talk about when I was a young country singer. When I was 20 years old, Tootsie put my first record on her jukebox by herself. She took her keys out of her pocket, she opened the jukebox, and she put it on there. And every time I would come in there after that, she would take out a quarter out of the cash register and go over and play my song. So that's how long I've been doing this. At that time, I had a young family, and I had to do something, so I decided that I was going to hit the music business, but I had to have a job. So I was working at Opryland. The first 2 seasons I worked at Opryland, and at night I was going to broadcasting school to be a country disc jockey. Now, when I was at Opryland, they had given Roy Acuff a place to live on the grounds there, and we would see him out walking around the park every day and stuff, and I don't even remember how my first conversation with him got started, but we got to talking pretty regular. And one day I was telling him about my memorabilia collection that I was collecting guitar picks from all the big stars and stuff I met. And he didn't say anything, but a few days later, there was a announcement came over the park intercom. Jim Bowman, would you please report to the employees' cafeteria? So I had no idea what was going on. I walked over there, and the lady at the front desk, she said, there's some folks back there in the back corner waiting to see you. So I went back there, and there was Roy Acuff, Bashful Brother Oswald, and Charlie Collins. And Roy Acuff said, sit down, son, I'm going to buy your lunch. So you can imagine a young country singer who's trying to get into the business has the king of country music buying his lunch. You can imagine how that felt. But after lunch, he reached into his pocket and he pulled out this old yo-yo. He said, son, I got something for your memorabilia collection. I want to give you this. He said, I gave one of these to Dick Nixon when he came to the Opry. And he said, I have used this on the Opry. I said, thank you, Mr. Acuff. I promise you this. If I ever get to play the Opry, I promise I'll spin this yo-yo. So years went by, just like the other story. One morning I turned on the TV news and it said, the king of country music passed away last night in Nashville. And being the songwriter thing, I picked up my guitar. And if I ever do get to play the Opry, this is the song that I'm going to sing right here. That old train came to get him on a Monday in November. The Wabash Cannonball had to make one final run. The king of country music was going to hear Billy Heaven. She was smoking in all her glory as she rode on past the sun. My daddy took me one time to see the Grand Ole Opry. I'll never forget that feeling when Mr. Acuff took the stage. With that fiddle in his hand, I could tell that he was royalty. The king of country music was writing history another page. He'd sing those mountain songs like the great speckled bird. Wreck on the highway, Lord, we hung on every word. All over this great land, radios were tuning in. It was Saturday night in Nashville, we could tell when we heard him. The king of country music was on his throne again. For over 40 years, he reigned in all his glory. A friend of country music, he lived his life through those songs. Now the folks down at the Opry will carry on your tradition. Mr. Acuff, we're gonna miss you, but your music will live on. Sometimes at night, I close my eyes, I can hear that announcer say, this is heaven's Grand Ole Opry, Mr. Acuff's about to play. With the angels in the background, Hank and Lefty sing along. It's a king's command performance, country music at God's throne. The king of country music has found the light, and now he's home. That old train came to get him on a Monday in November. The Wabash Cannonball had to make one final run. The king of country music was going to hear old Billy Heaven. She was smoking in all her glory as she rode on past the sun. That old train came to get him on a Monday in November. Thank y'all. You like that, Steve? Thank you very much. I think that's one of my favorite songs I ever wrote. Let's see. I wrote this song a while back. This is a new song, too. And I got to play it at the Bluebird Cafe a few days after I wrote it. And they didn't know what to expect when I started to sing it. And When I got finished, the roof came off of that place, and you'll see why in just a minute. But when I finished writing this song, I looked at it and I said, Jim, you just wrote your song, your life, in 3.5 minutes. And it goes like this. Like a magnet, Nashville pulled me when I was young to be a star. I was all about the music. I loved to play an old guitar. When I hit Music City, I was a dreamer full of dreams. My songs would make me famous. All I had to do was sing. I got an education at a place called Music Road. 16th Avenue was a teacher where I learned the word no. No one there thought I was special, and they didn't love my songs. Everyone I met suggested I just quit and go on home. Soon the fire that burned within me died to embers with no flames. I began to doubt myself and my quest for fame. But late at night when I was all alone, I'd play that old guitar. I'd start to sing and rekindle dreams. I just had to be a star. Where the years have gone, I don't know. They surely slipped away. I never caught that elusive star. I kept singing anyway. Now I'm not dead and I still sing. I still write songs today. I'll sing tonight, you can hear me there at the Bluebird Cafe. They come to town every day, kids chasing that big dream. Once upon a time I was one of them, a million years ago it seems. If you have a dream, just chase it. Don't let it ever go too far. If you have a song, just sing it. You just might be a star. Like a magnet, Nashville pulled me when I was young, man, a star. I was all about the music and I loved to play my old guitar. Now I haven't made it to the Opry. I made fans along the way. I'll sing for them when I play tonight at the Bluebird Cafe. I'm in Guitar Town singing in the round at the Bluebird Cafe. Thank you all. Thank you. I'm an old country singer now. It's easier for me to write a song these days than it is to remember the words. So hence I have to have this iPad up here. But this is a brand new song. I just wrote this. My thing about songwriting, I don't want to get rich from it. That'd be nice. But I want to write songs that will last and be remembered after I'm gone. Something that will be here when I'm gone. I've told my wife that when she does my headstone, if I die before her, I want one word on my headstone, songwriter, in capital letters. So that's how much songwriting means to me. But I'm an old soul. I have been forever. I saw a commercial last night on TV for the new Apple thing that you put on your face, and the whole world becomes your computer. That's not me. I don't want to live in that world. You know, I'm an old soul. I feel privileged to have lived in a time when I remember my grandpa and grandma, when she cooked with a wood stove, they had no running water, and he worked his farm with a team of mules. He never had a tractor, but they got by and they did well. That's kind of what this song is about. So I feel privileged to have lived in a time when I saw that, and then I've seen what my grandbabies are seeing in this new age. So I think this is one of my favorite songs I've ever written right here. I remember a song drifting back through the mountains, such a lonesome sound, a whippoorwill all alone, searching to find his lost love companion. They tell me now the whippoorwills are gone. The world keeps changing, time marches on. Some say for the better, I think they might be wrong. To survive was hard, the work days were long. The old folks were tough, and their faith was strong. As a boy I ran all through those mountains like a young wild deer. The trees knew my name. I swam the creeks, explored the woodlands. I miss those days. Now everything's changed. The world keeps changing, time marches on. Some say for the better, I think they might be wrong. To survive was hard, the work days were long. The old folks were tough, and their faith was strong. That way of life is gone forever. People who were there have mostly moved on. Front porches are empty, ghostly reminders of where they once gathered for the whippoorwill song. The world keeps changing, time marches on. Some say for the better, I think they might be wrong. To survive was hard, the work days were long. The old folks were tough, and their faith was strong. You know what? What we need now is a whippoorwill song.
You are listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX Blue Plate Special. Y'all give it up one more time for Jim Bowman right here. Support for the Blue Plate Special comes from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Tennessee Arts Commission. Visit Knoxville, Barley's in the Old City, which is host of the Big Plate down there on Friday. Speaking of, we've got some more music coming up this week. We've got a whole bunch of music this week, actually. Tomorrow, right here in Visit Knoxville, is Cigar Box Serenaders, at the next day on the 8th, we've got Cassidy Dickens in a twin bill with Dear Darling. The Big Plate on the 9th down there on Friday at Barley's will feature Gangsta Grass. And on the 10th, back up here at the Visitors Center with Ward Harrison. Speaking of the 10th, we've got your day planned for you. You can start your day with Kid Stuff Live right here at 10 a.m. right at Visit Knoxville with host Sean McCullough. This month's guests will be Smiley and the Love Dog. Then, of course, stick around for the Blue Plate Special. And then that night, go down to ORNL FCU Summer Sessions at AK Bissell Park in Oak Ridge for some shows with the Poe Ramblin' Boys along with Tim O'Brien. And then don't forget to make plans to join us down there at Yeehaw Brewing Company on June the 21st for the Jim Lauderdale Band. Of course, that starts at 7 o'clock with the first hour being broadcast on WDVX. But you should go down there in person because fun continues from I like another hour and a half or so after that. So we got lots of live music coming up. But say, speaking of real live music, you don't have to wait no longer because we have some more right here, right now for you. Would you guys give a big old East Tennessee welcome to Kris Shultz on the Blue Plate Special?
There was nothing left to say. Everything was gone. Couldn't take it with me anyway. Holding on to something too long only breaks it down. I fell quietly. Sometimes sadness has no sound. What I believe, what I need, I find them both on Hattatown Road. Driving with you on Hattatown Road. Keep finding pieces below the surface, working their way out like those rocks beneath my skin. When I fell and I was small, I keep searching, I keep finding. The more I break, the more there is to understand. What I believe, what I need, I find them both on Hattatown Road. Driving with you on Hattatown Road. Favorite songs live a few miles on. I'll find them someday. They'll keep me safe. But until then, what I believe, what I need, I find them both on Hattatown Road. Driving with you on Hattatown Road. Thank you. So that's a song that I wrote about a town in Connecticut, or a road in Connecticut, actually, in the town where my aunt and uncle lived. And it's on my first album that I released about almost 2 years ago now, I guess. It'll be 2 years in October, so. But I recorded that in Austin, Texas, which is where I'm from. And a guy named Charlie Richards produced it. And there's a Charlie Richards fan in the audience. Anyway, so we're about to go back in the studio and record another one soon, and I'm very excited about that. But this next song is also on the first record, and I won't tell you what it's called because it's in the first line of the song, and I always think that's a little weird. You say, I'm going to sing this song about cats, and then you start off with the word cat. I don't know. All right, there we go. He was a firefly, blinking quick and bright. I moved toward the light, he disappeared. I loved him then, as much as I knew how. My heart was a jailbird, no hope for breaking out. We all want a safe place to land, but I just keep circling around. Will I ever touch down to the ground? Have I missed my chance at finding my own way back? He's a meteor burning through the sky, just a trace left behind in the atmosphere. I love him still, as much as I'll allow. My feet wanna stand still, but my heart doesn't know how. But I just keep circling around. Will I ever touch down to the ground? Have I missed my chance? Am I finding my own way back? Just keep circling around. Will I ever touch down to the ground? Have I missed my chance of finding my own way back? I haven't missed my chance. No, I'm finding my own way back. Thank you.
You are listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX The Blue Plate Special. We are here with Kris Shultz. How you doing there, Kris?
I'm doing great.
Well, good. Great. It's good to have you back. You were here about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
And as she mentioned, calls Austin, Texas home, is up hanging around here. If you happen to be over Asheville way and can tune in, she's going to be on the radio over in Asheville tomorrow, and then back down to Texas for some gigs at the end of this month. So make sure to check out KrisSchultzMusic.com. That's Kris with a K, K-R-I-S. And but let's talk a little bit about some fun things that you've got going.
Yeah.
Kind of mentioned that you were working on a new album that's coming up.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about Songs in Places, which is exactly what it sounds like. You go to a place, you do a song. But tell folks a little bit about what that is and what you're trying to do with that.
Sure. So the guy I mentioned earlier, Charlie Richards, that produced my first album and will produce my second album, he and I go out into the world to weird places or fun places or scenic places, and I perform a song live. He records it with a little field recorder and a camera, and we get songs in places. So we try for some interesting visuals happening while I'm doing my songs. So we originally thought it would be fun to call it sad songs in strange places, but
which it still could be.
It's still, well, they're my songs, so there are definitely going to be some sad songs.
And that record that you have out is called Standard Issue Heart. That is available on all the streaming platforms and whatnot for folks.
Yes.
Or if you happen to be here today, we do have some merchandise over in the corner there, so make sure to stop and say hello and pick up something for that. You know, Christmas is right around the corner, y'all.
Yeah, there you go.
And we all have, that closet full of random gifts for people that you didn't expect to come.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, merchandise makes a great addition to that closet. So, we're going to back on out of the way and let Kris get some more music right here on the Blue Plate Special.
Cool. So this is a song that I wrote about the block that I grew up on in Topeka, Kansas. And we lived about a block from the Little League fields, but none of the people on our block could afford to play Little League, so we played in our yard. And we played in our yard because it had a fence. Because when you're 5 years old, you need a fence to play baseball. But the yard was so small that if you hit it over the fence, it wasn't a home run. In order to get a home run, you had to hit it over the fence, across the street, and into the sewer. And then there was exactly one kid that was brave enough to go down in the sewer and get the ball. And if he wasn't there, you tried to keep it inside the fence, because then your game was over. But it's called Hay Batter. Bones of the front porch in a pile in the yard, souvenirs of the past, easy to discard. Down the street, cars on blocks, broken glass and bare feet. Further on, baseball fields where people we never meet fill the summer air with a batter, 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 a batter, 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 a batter, 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 swing. A batter, 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 a batter, 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 a batter, 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 swing. Makeshift bases in the tiniest of yards. We're just a bunch of kids. Guess we're easy to discard. Make our own rules, call the shots. dollar fare, strike or not. And we say, hey, better, 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 hey, better, 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 hey, better, 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 swing. Hey, better, 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 hey, better, 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 hey, better, 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 swing. Swing for the fences, swing to cross the state lines, swing to get out of this town, swing for whatever we can find. We'll sing a better, 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 a better, 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 a better, 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 swing. A better, 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 a better, 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 a better, 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 swing. Just swing. Thank you. My friend asked me if that was about pancakes. I said, if you want it to be. This is actually the songs and places that I was talking about earlier. This is actually the first song we did for that. And you can find it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And we had a lot of fun doing it. It was sort of a little bit of a learning curve, trying to figure out what worked and what didn't work. And but we're having a lot of fun doing that songs and places thing, because Charlie, who is, he does the field recording and he does kind of the direction of it and everything, and he has some crazy ideas, and I've learned through making one record and playing a lot of shows with him, when he says something that sounds kind of out there and ridiculous, it's probably going to be really great. So I just go along with it. And so who knows where we're going to end up on Songs and Places, but this is the first one we did. It's called Things That Save Me. Cobblestones, red brick, ink to paper, my magic trick. Write it down, then hold it close. It's only mine if no one else knows. All those things that save me, do I need them now? All those things that save me, are they holding me down? If I let go, will I still know what's mine? Broken concrete, creaky gates, chain locked door at the end of the hallway. Crack the codes, collect the clues. eggshell walk out of every room. All those things to save me, do I need them now? All those things to save me, are they holding me down if I let go? Will I still know what's mine? Heartbreak song, smoke dust air, pile of clothes, bottom of the stairs. Will they break my fall? Will they break my fall? All those things to save me, do I need them now? All those things to save me, are they holding me down if I let go? Will I still know what's mine? Cobblestones, red brick, ink to paper is still my magic trick. Write it down, then hold it close.
You are listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX. We're going to get one more from Kris here, but before we do that, y'all give it up for Jim Bowman up first half again. And once again, make sure to join us tomorrow for Cigar Box Serenaders. And as always, on your way out, there's a donation box. A few dollars in the bucket helps keep the good music rolling right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX. Kris, will you take us out with one more today?
Sure thing. This is a friend told me I should write a happy song, so I tried. Last year's been a tough one. It's not in us to come undone. It's not in our history giving easily. So put the Friday mix on and we'll dance as we drive away. We don't even know what happens next. We're all a part of a wonderful mess. Get lost in the song. Let's get lost in the song. We can drive through Old Town while we'll go singing Jesus Don't Cry. We can pray to Saint Sal. He's gonna make everything alright. So put the Friday mix on and we'll dance as we drive away. We don't even know what happens next. We're all a part of a wonderful mess. Get lost in the song. Let's get lost in the song. Now the Smiths are singing something about a double-decker bus. Watch out. Maybe Barry and Kate can sing along with us. So put the Friday mix on and we'll dance as we drive away. We don't even know what happens next. We're all a part of a wonderful mess. Lost in the song. Let's get lost in the song. Lost in the song. Thank you.
That was Kris Shultz right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX Blue Plate Special. Make sure to join us again for more real live music. And y'all have a great day now.
And somebody will drive downtown. The Knoxville Visitor Plate Special, Evie Andress.
Well, hey.